Welcome everyone to the Draft Viewer here at day one of the Magic World Championship. I'm Ian Duke. With me is Braun-Duin. He's going to walk us through his draft pick by pick. Now, Brian, you're sitting at 2-0 right now.
Yep.
How are you feeling here this morning?
Pretty good, actually. I was really unsure about this deck, and I could have seen it go anywhere from 0-3 to 3-0. So pretty happy with the 2-0 start.
Okay, so no spoilers about the deck just yet. First, let's take a look at the draft pod here. Oh, actually, we'll jump right into pack one. Looking through here in pack one, what cards were standing out to you? What were your considerations?
So the two cards that stood out to me the most were Identity Thief and Brazen Wolves. Identity Thief's a card that I've lost to it a lot in Limited, but I've never had the chance to cast it myself. So I ended up going with a card that I just knew was good. I ended up taking Brazen Wolves, just a really strong 3-drop. Some people call it unbeatable wolves. So
going a little bit more consistency over potential power in the Identity Thief there.
Yeah, and I'm more comfortable drafting a red deck in this format anyway, so I figured I would take one of the best commons in the color that I want to draft.
Sounds like a great start. Let's take a look at the next pack. So what stood out to you in this one here?
So here, the main thing was just Clear Shot, which I think is one of the best cards in the set. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that a rare was missing, so not really a signal that I'm getting past a Clear Shot, but I don't think there's that many green rares that are better than Clear Shot anyway. So for me, it was a pretty clear pick, and I felt like it was green was probably going to be open in after getting past a Clear Shot. So I definitely wanted to just take that.
Definitely one of the top uncommons and probably the top green uncommon in the set, would you say?
Definitely
yes. Up there, yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. So good pickup for you there in the Clear Shot. What did pack 3 bring?
So I don't think green-red's a very strong archetype, so I didn't want to jump into Brazen Wolves plus clear Shot as my deck. And here I noticed that there were 3 emerge creatures, and Clear Shot goes really well into a blue-green emerge deck. So I wanted to try to draft that, and I figured Wretched Griff and Lashweed Lurker were the 2 best emerge cards in the pack. Mm-hmm. And if I'm going to take an emerge creature, I might as well take the better one. So I ended up taking Lashweed Lurker here, hoping that one of those 2 would come back around on the wheel.
Okay, that makes sense. So you had the Clear Shot already. You figure if you're going to take a blue card, then you'll also be green and blue. So you might as well go with the Lashweed Lurker being the more powerful of the 2.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to probably be playing the Clear Shot, so I might as well take even though it's multicolored, the better card.
And do you like blue-green emerge as an archetype? Is that?
Yeah, I think it's really strong and definitely something I'm looking to draft if it's open.
Cool. So let's take a look at pick 4. Anything stand out to you here in this pack?
Yeah, so this was a pack that honestly was pretty weak for what I was looking to do. Mm-hmm. Some of the better cards in this pack are all white, and at this point I've taken a red card and a blue-green card, and I'm not really looking to jump into white at this point. So for me, I ended up just going with a consistent card that probably makes my deck but is not good in Terrarian. But I thought about also taking the Fury Blade Vampire because I had the Brazen Wolves, and mm-hmm. I could maybe just stick with the red.
Okay, so somewhat of a turning point for you then in this pack, right?
Yeah, this was kind of like a turning point for me, and I went with Terrarian, which I don't feel good about that pick, but I guess I ended up playing it. So.
Yeah, it's a card that has some subtle synergy to it, right? It's an artifact that can get in your graveyard easily for Delirium and can fix your mana if you decide to splash.
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, let's take a look at pick 5.
All right, so this pack, basically I see 2 good green cards that go with the plan I'm trying to do this blue-green deck. One is Bloodbriar, which is just really good with Emerge, you get a counter, mm-hmm. good with Terrarian, good with Clues. Just a really strong 3-drop for green, but I think Grapple the Past is one of green's best commons. And I basically want to take it. If I'm in a green deck, I want to be drafting a green grapple deck. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty happy to pick up a grapple.
Yeah, it seems especially good if you're going green-blue with the big emerge creatures because you can just get back a huge creature that maybe gives you value when it enters the battlefield, something along those lines.
Exactly.
Very cool. Okay, on to pick 6.
All right, so here, this pack was pretty weak. I thought about taking Thraben Foulbloods because it looked like black was pretty open at this point, mm-hmm. and I thought that maybe black-green was something that could happen, and I had opened a Morn Willow, which I thought might wheel.
Okay.
So I thought that at this point, maybe I take the Thraben Foulbloods, but I ended up sticking to green, and I took Hamlet Captain, which is certainly not a powerful card, but it is just a 2-drop. and 2-drops are good, especially with Emerge.
How much weight are you putting on the human aspect of this, right? Because normally green-blue is not a deck we associate with having lots of humans. That might be more like green-white, for example.
Yeah, I'm basically putting 0 value on that.
Okay, so it's just a grizzly bear?
Just a grizzly bear.
Yeah, okay,
yep.
Sounds good. Okay, and taking a look at pick 7 here, there's another Hamlet captain.
Yeah, so after I already had the first Hamlet captain, I thought I'd maybe like assemble the Hamlet.
Okay.
So I figured Woodland Patrol is not a very great 3-drop, so might as well stick to the theme and take another Hamlet captain.
Just getting a good baseline for your curve and leaving open the possibility to draft some more humans?
Yeah, definitely. Now that I have a second Hamlet captain, like I can take humans a little bit more aggressively and have them be a little bit better.
Sounds great. So let's zoom forward to the end of this pack actually and see the rest of what you collected here. Looks like that Morn Willow did end up wheeling.
Yeah, I did end up getting a Morn Willow, and then I picked up a couple late borrowed Malevolence, thinking that I was going to probably be green-black splashing blue.
Okay.
At this point, and I figured that with the grapple deck, it's actually pretty easy to splash because you can get Primal Druids and grapple gives you back lands. So I figured like I'm probably going to end up in like some sort of a 3-color deck.
Okay, plus
here.
you have the Terrarian too, right?
And I have the Terrarian as well, yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's go forward to pack 2, pick 1, and tell us about what you see in this pack here.
So this was a wild pack. So first of all, there's Tamio, and I'm already a green-blue-ish deck that is willing to splash. So Tamio immediately jumps out as me as I could abandon the black, take Tamio, and try to build a Bant deck. But then there's also Faith Unbroken, which is like one of the best uncommons in the set. Really powerful card. And then Wretch Griff, which also goes really well in my Emerge deck. So this was a really tough pick for me, and I'm not sure that I made the right pick. But I ended up going with the Griff as basically like more of a consistent pick instead of like the most powerful choice.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Because I knew I was going to be in blue-green something, and probably black since I had seen a lot of black cards. So I didn't want to abandon the black, and I stuck with Wretch Griff.
Okay, makes sense. I admire the pick there. So on to pack 2, pick 2.
All right, so here, this was an extremely disappointing pack, to say the least. Really nothing that I wanted in this pack, so I could have taken like Scour the Laboratory maybe, but I thought that blue was probably going to be my splash color behind black, so I didn't want like a double blue card. And then I could have taken a third Hamlet captain. Maybe that was the pick, but I figured it probably is going to wheel since the other ones did. And Primal Druid is what I ended up taking because it's just mana fixer, really good with Emerge.
Yep.
I was hoping to pick up a third Emerge creature. I had 2 at this point.
Okay, great.
So.
And what did pick 3 bring then? Let's take a look.
All right, pick 3. This was also a pretty weak pack, but there was another grapple here, so that was like the obvious pick for me because grapples just kind of get better in multiples too. Every time you put more cards in your graveyard, you have a wider array of options of what to take. So.
Yep, and a little bit more slant toward maybe being a 3-color deck.
Yeah, definitely.
So very cool. Good pickup for you there. On to pick 4.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see. For a second, I dabbled with the idea of Bloodhawk Priest because why not? But I think that would have been poor for me. So yeah, I could have taken Skursdag Supplicant. It is a human. It's a black card. It can help enable Delirium if I need it. But it's kind of a unimpressive card in an Emerge deck.
Also not the type of card, if you are 3 colors and you're sort of splashing black, it's not something that's great later on in the game, right?
Yeah, like it uses a black mana every turn to activate.
Right.
Plus I'm probably going to be playing like a Dirtly deck, and I probably don't want both of us to lose 2 life at most cases. So I ended up going with Unsubstantiate.
Okay, so solid pickup, nothing super tremendous there. But,
yeah.
And pick 5 here.
All right, so here, this was actually a really tough pick too. There were actually 3 like viable options for me here. Woodland Patrol, just because I already had Hamlet captains and I could maybe be getting a third one coming back around. And it is a human, but it is weaker than Bloodbriar and Noose Constrictor. Bloodbriar had a lot of synergy with my deck, but Noose Constrictor is just the best card. So I ended up going with just the best card and taking the Noose Constrictor, but I definitely tanked a while on that one.
Yeah, it seems like a tough pick, but Noose Constrictor is a great card to pick up for sure.
Yeah.
So let's jump forward to the end of the pack and see what you got in pack 2, how your deck is rounding out here. Anything notable that you added here?
I did get the third Hamlet Captain, but it was not the same one.
Okay.
It was a different one. So there were four captains in the going around. I ended up with an Ulvenwald Captive, which is really good because it can help you hard cast some of the big creatures later. And it's just like, it's an early mana accelerant and a big creature late.
Makes a lot of sense.
So that's like one of Green's best commons, and I got it super late. I was really happy about that.
Very cool. Okay, let's jump into pack 3. So this is the Shadows over Innistrad pack, and right away I see Duskwatch Recruiter, the mythic uncommon as it's called sometimes,
yeah,
right?
I don't think I really looked too much at the rest of the pack. I just kind of saw that, like slid it in my pile and moved on with my life.
Sounds great. You must have been really happy to see that there.
I was,
Fantastic
yeah.
card to pick up. And what did you get in pack 2 then?
So yeah, this pack was interesting, and I'm not sure that I made the right pick here. I had some options, and I had like Quilled Wolf and Rancid Rats, both solid 2-drops. But at this point, I have like triple Hamlet Captain, Primal Druid, Captive, Noose Constrictor. Like I had a ton of 2-drops already, and I figured I probably wouldn't even be playing all of mine. So then for me, it was like I could take the Thraben Gargoyle, artifact creature that helps enable Delirium, or I can take Jace's Scrutiny. And since I had like almost no spells at this point, it's outside of grapple, I ended up taking Jace's Scrutiny, which is not a super strong card, but
It's solid, a nice little utility spell, keeps you alive.
yeah, a little bit of utility, and I actually really like that card a lot.
Yeah,
so.
I too, actually. So let's take a look at pick 3.
All right, so here, basically I saw a Drown Yard Explorers was the first card I saw, and I was like, that's going to be great in my deck. Makes a clue.
Definitely.
And Emerge, but then like as I was flipping through, I saw Kindly Stranger.
Oh, okay.
And I figured, and like Kindly Stranger is just great with free grapple from the past because you can kill something, trade with it, grapple it back, kill
That
something
makes a ton of
else.
sense.
You can just recur it over and over again.
So finally getting paid off for sticking with the option to be black a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So
Very
I went
nice.
with the Kindly Stranger.
Love it, love that pickup. Okay, and pick 4.
Yeah, so this pack was another actually kind of close decision where I had to choose between Sleep Paralysis and Murderous Compulsion, like making the decision, am I green, like heavy blue with a black splash, or green, black with a blue splash? And I went deep into the tank on this one, and again, I don't know if I made the right choice. Like I had just taken the Jace's Scrutiny, which pushed me towards blue, but then I took Kindly Stranger, pushing me towards black. And I ended up going with Murderous Compulsion, but I don't know if that was the right pick.
Yeah, seems really, really tough to make there. But yeah, let's take a look at the last couple picks here. Pick 5 we have.
Yeah, so this pack had a lot of riches, actually. Hermit of the Natternulls is a human, also just a solid creature. I would have been happy to pick that card up. There's also like Gloom Widow, which is okay, and then Silver Fur Partisan, which would have been good if I had like a bunch of pump spells. I ended up going with Confront the Unknown because, again, I didn't feel like I had that many tricks. I just had a bunch of creatures, and I think Confront's extremely powerful. I also had the Jace's Scrutiny already, so maybe I can get like a little bit of a clue thing going.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense and goes well with all the 2-drops that you said you had. So
Yep.
very cool. And then rounding things out with pick 6 here before we jump to the end.
Yeah, there were, I thought about taking Might Beyond Reason for the same reason I took Confront the Unknown, just a little bit of a trick. But at that point, I had like Confront, Jace's Scrutiny, and Clear Shot. So I figured it wasn't like super important to take the Might. And my mana, I had no idea what my deck was going to look like. So my mana might be really bad. So I ended up taking Foul Orchard just as kind of a safe pick.
Yeah, love that pick up there. Really solidifies your mana, and it seems like you had a depth of playables at this point. So
I
really
had a
like
lot,
that choice
yeah.
a lot. So anyway, let's flash forward to the end of pack 3 here. Anything else you want to talk about here that you picked up?
Yeah, I got this Nephalia Moondrakes. I opened that with Duskwatch Recruiter, and it ended up wheeling back to me. And I ended up taking it because of how good it is with grapple from the past. If you just mill over it, it's just sitting in your graveyard, and then you can use the ability to give all your team flying.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
so
great
I was
pickup
pretty
there.
happy to pick that up, and that ultimately is what pushed me to building a green-blue splashing black deck.
Gotcha.
Was
That
the
makes a lot of sense.
Moondrakes, and it's been really good for me so far.
Wow, it sounds great. And you're 2-0 so far, so
Yep.
keep up the good work. Yeah, thanks for sharing the draft with us. Looks like it was really tough to navigate, a lot of really tricky picks, but it seems like you did a great job with it.
Thank you.
So yeah, keep up the good work. That's Braun-Duin. I'm Ian Duke, signing off here from the Draft Viewer.